Hey guys, welcome back to FetchQuest. Good to see you guys again after that, what feels like forever. Uh, so, Joven, did you want to catch us up from last week?
Of course. Last week, as Zon had gone ahead to collect the plants we were looking for, he ended up encountering the being known as the Devourer. As our group, along with a merfolk guide, were making our way over there, unaware that Zon had encountered and managed to evade the massive apex shark thing, bigger than anything we've ever seen or had to fight yet. Um, the Devourer made a what felt like a beeline towards us, and essentially pinned us into a crevasse where its combination of camouflaging scales and our own rolls had us waiting for multiple rounds until Zon showed up, in which we eventually engaged with the Devourer, not before it unfortunately killed our guide. And through a series of lucky rolls and unlucky rolls in some regards, we managed to slay, at least temporarily, the Devourer with the they aren't blood lilies. What are they?
Bloodwort.
Bloodwort. With the bloodwort
Yeah.
in hand, and our quarry incapacitated at the moment, but regenerating, seemingly similar to Old Man Hookjaw in a way. Um, we decided the best course of action would be to get the fuck out of there as fast as we could and try to start making our way back.
Excellent. And just as you guys did breach the water and start to get on shore, we're going to hop on over to that map. As you guys did hop on over and breach the shoreline, Damokos collapsed. Eyes rolled back into his head and collapsed onto the beach. So, Damokos is out. What's everyone doing?
If you change the map, we are not seeing it.
I see it.
I see it.
I think it's because I had you on that thing that separated you out.
Yeah, you have to re-add me to the ribbon thing then.
Gotcha. There we go. All right, re-added. So right there, right there. So Damokos is out. Just collapses right there on the beach. I forgot these don't match up. What is everyone doing?
Well, I guess I'm checking to see if he is breathing or dead.
Sure, make a medicine check. And Damokos, as he's making this medicine check, you get a nice little fun, sweet little vision of that. Have fun. He is, although his body seems unnaturally cold, he is alive. His heartbeat is very faint, and so is his breathing. But you managed to get like your sword up to his mouth, and you could see little bits of breath fogging up the glass. Sorry, the metal of the sword. You put your fingers to his throat. His heart is beating very faintly and very slowly. But all in all, it really seems that he's more unconscious than close to death, even though he is freezing cold.
Alright, well, he's not dead. Try to just splash a bit of water on him.
That is not working.
Well, I guess you're getting carried.
Oh, come over. I'll be like, what happened to him?
He just collapsed. Could be a side effect of the potion. It could be a number of things.
Well, we have to move regardless, so
I
guess
know
he's coming with
I
me.
was- If you'd like to carry him, go ahead.
You have like one workable arm right now. And I cast Tensor's floating disc.
I forgot about that. Yeah. I forget
Yeah.
that stuff.
You almost
Easily.
got your arm chopped off. Put him on the disc.
I'm going to just, as much as I can, put him on the disc.
Sure. Yeah. His unconscious body is laid out onto the disc.
How much could he possibly weigh? Not that much.
He's like a bird. He is so light.
Alright, let's get the fuck out of here.
Cool. So yeah, you guys make your way up the stairs, and you do find yourself in the depths of the castle.
What time?
Time we can move him.
Yeah. What's the time right now?
It's been a couple hours, and I believe it was mid-morning when you guys went down there. So it's right about 2, maybe 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
All right. Well,
And Domikos is going to be out for about an hour in game.
go put him in bed and figure out where we're going after this.
Cool. Domikos is tucked into his bed, and he is safe.
Right. I don't know about the rest of you all, but finding information out was actually decently useful last time, so maybe we can go search for something about these ruins to the north.
What else are we looking for? Like more
It's a
plants?
plant called Thunderweave.
Great, more plants. Is the library even going to be open? Aren't they asleep right now?
Well, it looked more like Johnny's were running the more mundane parts of the library, so it could stand to reason that as they're undead and don't need to sleep, it could potentially be open all the time.
Gonna give Noodle the dagger I promised him for being such a good boy.
Noodle sweeps it away under his wing. He has his wings tightly closed, and the weapons you've given him are under them.
Good boy, Noodle. Good job. Alright, let's go back to the library, I guess.
That we should probably be prepared to be using that sword to find the other part of the sword once we start going north.
It could be much farther north than wherever we have to go, but
We
sure.
should assume that it's going to be closer and then hope that it's farther away so we don't have to, take time away, but technically that should be our first priority at the moment. It just isn't at the moment.
Alright, library, here we come.
Cool.
Yes.
You guys head over to the library, and I assume are studying until Domikos meets you?
We
Correct.
left him a note.
No, you did not.
Should we have? It's fine. There aren't a lot of places we can go. He'll be fine.
Very true.
I
So,
can stay with Domikos if need be.
someone staying with Domikos?
Until he comes to.
Cool. So, Evan, you kind of make yourself comfortable in Domikos' room. For the other two, I need you guys to go ahead and roll me investigation checks for this hour that you were studying. Finish it up, Domikos? Cool. Hey, so Zahn, what are you guys researching?
I am looking for anything that regarding the northern ruins or Thunderweave, but I assume I am just looking for ruins.
Is it more weed? Or is it weave?
Thunderweave.
Weave.
Yeah.
Thunderweed.
That's highly toxic, actually.
Common
Thunderweave heals,
misconception.
Thunderweed kills.
Uh,
And they look exactly alike. So it's
oh,
If
that's
prepared
So,
correctly.
you actually you're doing some reading. You can't really find anything on the ruins, and what you find about the Thunderweave and Thunderweave is the difference between it and Thunderweed, namely how Thunderweave is used in like restoration potions, and Thunderweave will pretty much kill you in the most painful way possible. And you learn to notice these subtle differences between the two, which means that when you're checking the plants, you get advantage on the nature check. All right, Kara, what were you studying?
I assumed we were looking for the same thing.
Cool. So you find a little bit more about the ruins than you do the plant itself. There are a lot of ruins in this area. Each seem to be not many people. They're mainly unexplored. Uh, People just go missing inside of them. Outside of some of them, there is Thunderweave, which is the plant that's known to grow where lightning strikes the ground. That kind of invigorates that plant growth, and it can typically be overgrown in that area. However, you also do learn that because Thunderweave and Thunderweed are both used in uh, different secretive rituals, the plants that are outside the ruins are pretty much picked dry. And because there's no regular lightning hitting them, they're not growing. So there's uh, really people that have gone into the ruins either come out having not found anything or just don't come out at all.
Fun.
But reports do state that there's really no need for torches inside because the walls do seem to light up with a bluish glow.
Of course they do.
All right, and so we're going to hop on over to Damokos and Jovan. Damokos, you wake up in a cold sweat inside of your bed, nice and tucked in. Jovan is sitting in the corner.
And going off of what I read, Domagos would probably sit up quite suddenly.
Oh,
Oh God, I still have the gills, don't I?
You do, and it's a little bit harder for you to breathe because your body is trying to use both of them at once.
Damakos, are you okay?
I don't know. Is everyone else all right?
Yeah, everyone else made it out pretty okay. You passed out after getting out of the water.
Jovan, I want you to
Strange.
sorry, Jovan, I want you to make a quick investigation check. Or medicine. If you prefer to use medicine, use that modifier on that.
Okay, so that's a
14.
So instead, that would be a 16.
Cool. So around Damokos's eyes is what are they called? The little red lines in your eye.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those seem to be black in Damokos's, and you can see his veins are visibly darkened around his eyes.
Are you feeling okay? Any fatigue? Any blurriness? Anything?
I mean, my vision's fine though.
Vision's fine, but brain is still kind of focusing on those images that you saw before.
Okay. I'm, other than it being a bit hard to breathe, with these points to the gills. Yeah, I just had a strange dream of sorts.
This dream, is it just like a normal dream, or is it like those important dreams?
I mean, it felt very real in the moment. I don't know exactly what it's about, but something there was trying to find me or speak to me, and it just was. There's a lot of death.
That's troubling, to say the least. But you seem fine now, at least. A little worse for wear. Maybe that has to do with the potion. How long does that thing last, anyway?
Could be a day, for all I know. Could be the next hour. Could be a day. Hopefully not more than that.
Hopefully. The others went off to the library to do some research and accomplish our goals as best they can.
Probably a good idea. Still have one more task that was set for us, I think.
True. With you unconscious, though, and me, well, one arm down as it is, some rest might be in order. I say, relax, baby, and just focus on the facts that we're both alive, that we both survived.
Yes. Devourer, was it? Well, we beat it. Well, seemingly.
I have a feeling it's not dead, but
Yeah, I have a distinct feeling as well.
it wasn't our
But
task.
as long as it can't walk on land, I think we're fine.
Yeah, that I think is worthy of a celebratory drink. Let's see if they have any wine available.
Yes, I agree.
And I am going to see if there is wine that is available.
So you knock on the door twice, and when you open it up, there's a man in the robe. There's the guy in the robe who's kind of looking down. He goes, "Yes."
I'd looking for a bottle of wine, please.
You have
Something
anything
a little
specific?
more on the lighter side. Maybe a nice red, if you have it.
Absolutely. I will be back. Wait. Probably not. No. Have a good day. I'll be back. and he turns and kind of disappears down the hallway.
Gonna duck back in. I really hope it's not blood.
All right, and
I
so
mean, I
one
would not be surprised.
excellent. So while you guys are waiting for the wine, we're gonna hop on back to Kara and Zahn, who have just about finished the research.
So they're Velirine buildings, obviously.
Yeah.
But it doesn't look like there's anything on the outside where it should be growing, so we might have to go inside. But the books are also saying that people go missing. So I think we might have to get back up to full strength before we go in there. 'Cause God knows it's in there.
Sort of assumed, and I didn't expect Damakos to go anywhere anytime soon anyways, but that was something our mayor friend explained, that no one just goes and picks these plants from outside the ruins. Didn't assume it was going to be easy. Such as everything that we've done so far.
Why would it be growing inside a building, though, if it needs lightning strikes? Unless there's lightning inside the building?
Maybe it's got holes in the roof. It is a ruin. Could just be the skeleton of old... what are they called? Yeah. Doesn't matter. It's in there, as far as we know, and we need to go get it. And not to mention that... Take a quick look around. Is anyone listening into us?
Make a quick perception check.
Sure.
No, in fact, you don't really see any vampires around either. It just seems to be Johnny's. Either some, like, they're sitting behind desks, they're putting away books. Really seems like this place is more filled with Johnnies who don't really seem to be listening in.
Okay. Not to mention we have a very important artifact that possibly has a sibling in that ruin or nearby.
Possibly. I think if we hear more voices, maybe, but it could also be another Medusa. So it's 50-50. Who knows?
Who knows? Just go rest. I'm sure we can get up early in the morning again. Possibly at nighttime, since we need to be awake during the night to get anything done once this is all said and done anyways.
If we go to sleep now, it'll be like 10 when we wake up, right?
Yeah, it'll be 10 p.m.
Alright. I have no problems with that.
Alright. Then let us go tell the others if Damakos is awake. Which I have a weird suspicion that he is.
Cool, so you guys head back. You guys actually arrive just after the porter delivers a nice red, which is it's the bottle it's made of. It seems to make the liquid almost look thicker, almost blood-like. But when you guys do pour it into your individual glasses, it is in fact normal wine. It's not blood.
These people.
They're vampires. If vampires aren't dramatic as hell.
How did the research go?
Not entirely useful, but enough so that we won't be picking the wrong plants or stumbling into a place that was obviously safe with our swords drawn or anything, but I sort of expected it not to be safe.
Do we see what's going on with his face or no?
Yeah, you guys, when you walk in, especially, I'm going to assume Joven's also going to try and subtly motion them to it.
Yeah.
You guys do see that the veins are darker around his eyes.
You feeling okay? You did pass out cold on the beach.
I mean, other than having quite the dream, I feel fine. It's hard to breathe with these things.
Okay.
I guess I haven't mentioned it yet, but the way I found you under the water was casting a spell to find an object, and I chose your sphere because it was the first thing I could think of. But something is bothering me about that sphere. Though it should have probably already, being that you found it in a Velirine cave. And many things in Velirine caves are normally not very good.
I mean, what was concerning you about it?
Oh, just I could feel it trying to look back at me.
Very interesting.
That's a little horrifying. Just
yeah.
saying.
And if it's trying to look back at me just for casting a spell on it, you who's been holding it for... what has it been, like 2 months now? Probably not good.
Well, I mean, it does
And I'm
help me
worrying
to
it-
look in on other people, so...
True. But is that
Makes
worth
sense.
your overall health? Considering, you collapsed, and now your veins are running dark. You're constantly cold like you're dead.
I mean, I don't know.
All
But
I'm
this orb
saying.
has given me access to several things that have helped from time to time.
Right.
Such as without the orb, we would not have been able to find out all the information that led us here.
We would have figured it out at some point, I hope. All I'm saying is your power does not exactly justify killing yourself, possibly. And you obviously do not understand the effects that it is taking its toll on you.
I honestly don't even know what effects you're talking about.
I just named them off. Your skin is cold to the touch as if you are dead.
I mean, I
Your
woke up in
veins
a
are running
cold
black.
sweat.
You're passing out in the middle of nowhere. Let's say this. Compromise. Leave the orb here for this next event, and we'll see how it affects you over the day. Though I do have the feelings you might have some withdrawal symptoms, because I feel like this orb is not exactly in your best interest. More of a parasitic nature.
And yet we're surrounded by a fortress of vampires. One would think that we would want to have every card on the table for easy use.
If one of those cards decides to kill you before you can even use it against those enemies, what's the point?
I would say that perhaps leaving the orb here in a castle of rather welcoming vampires who have their own vested interests in their own pursuits might not be the best idea. Perhaps a compromise to the compromise. We could put it in the bag of holding.
That's also an idea. I could even give it to you if it was that important and we absolutely needed it.
I have the distinct feeling that it won't change anything, given what I saw.
Oh?
I'm still trying to make sense of it, but saw all of us back in Moroth. That much I can say for certain.
And that was all?
And there was a battle going on. But all of us were back in Moroth.
And that was all? Something innocuous as that, I don't exactly believe that that would shake you with any sort of vision.
Wouldn't normally, other than that something was trying to find me.
Right. And how do you know that this vision isn't some sort of trick or lie?
It could be, or it could just be that, just a nightmare. Brought on by fatigue.
Well, then my point still stands. I don't believe you should have this orb. I don't think you need it in the first place. I seem to recall there was an instance where, there was a building in front of us and you decided to blow it up. Before you even had this orb.
I'll go sit in the corner with Joven and drink some wine.
I'll pour some out for her.
Circumstances at that time made me panic. Yes, I admit.
Well, it's not the panic. We've gotten over the panic, I assume. But it's more or less the power. I don't think you need this orb. Whatever it's giving to you. I've led you all to be a resourceful bunch. I'm sure you don't exactly need this item.
Hey, Domicus, I want you to make a wisdom save.
Okay. Yeah, because we all know I'm great at those.
Yep.
Great
Cool.
at those.
So, Domicus, for a moment, you can't feel your mouth as you hear your own voice say, "I didn't hear you complaining when we took down that shark."
Right. Well, it's not exactly the power it gave you that I am concerned with, like I said. You could do those things without it, as far as I can tell.
I think you're just jealous. I mean, you couldn't even catch Kara, who was pretty much just walking into traps. I think you need to worry more about yourself, Zon. I wasn't the one who almost died. I've been good.
I feel like Domicos would inwardly go, huh? On that.
This is getting.
I mean, can I make an
spicy.
insight check? Because that is
Yeah,
out
this
of
does
turn
not sound
for
like
anything that he
Domicos.
would ever say.
Go ahead.
There it is.
This, now that you're really listening to the voice, there seems to be almost a slight distortion to it.
Is the orb
It-
nearby?
You assume that he keeps the orb with him at all times. You can't really see it right now, but it's easy to assume it's with him.
You two. Do you mind come here for a moment?
All right. Gonna stand up and walk over. Set the goblet aside.
So as you guys are gathering up, Domicos, I need you to make another wisdom saving throw for me, please.
Cool.
Not gonna lie, my feelings are a little bit hurt.
Oh no, everything will be okay, just fine. He technically has +4, if that makes a difference.
That's pretty good.
Or I believe it's +3, actually.
Okay.
Yes.
Technically.
All right, Domicos, I'm gonna send you a message.
Okay.
Aw.
Do it.
I keep going, guys.
So, no matter what happens right now, I just want to let you all know that I am on your side. And I hope that you trust me.
What
And
does
I'm
that
casting
mean?
Hold
Okay.
Person on Domicos.
Oh no!
Okay.
I don't have your fucking.
1 second.
Yeah, let's let him finish his typing.
Yeah.
He needs to
I was
type.
gonna let it finish his typing, but you told me to continue, and I was gonna do that, so...
Sure. So,
Now we need to make a
Cool.
wisdom saving throw and not have
There we go.
+3.
Okay, let me just
gets
look
a
at one
nat
thing.
20.
Of course, he's gonna
Right.
roll super high now.
What's the save?
Oh, that's a good question. 14.
14. Thought so.
I don't cast spells.
All right, so it's a is it wisdom?
Yep. God damn it!
Oh,
So as you're finishing speaking, you just kind of like snap out your fingers and just spit out the spell because Damokos. And then you look over and he is in fact moving. And Damokos, what are you doing?
Probably just arching an eyebrow, going, Zon, what was that?
Well, that didn't work. I guess we have to do it in a physical interaction. Please help me.
More, more fair
As
that way.
I go and grapple him.
Cool. Damokos, you can remember that note. Yeah, sure. Make a grapple check.
Sure.
Yeah. All right. Let's see Damokos get somehow beat you.
Well,
I assume a
Because of a
natural 20 is
certain-
the only thing that can beat that.
the fun part though is that I have to do this a certain way because of a certain thing.
Yeah.
Well, I'm definitely doing not athletics.
So he just kind of Zon is all help me and then throws himself on you and you're just caught underneath this half orc in plate armor. What's everyone else doing? Actually, you know what? Let's just go ahead and should have done this in the beginning. Everyone roll initiative for me, please.
Okay.
Oh God, that's an ability check.
Wait. Don't I have a thing for?
Oh, I'm
Aye,
sorry. I
aye.
might be on the wrong. I personally am on the wrong page. Let me go ahead. Open up that
Yes.
tracker.
Yes, I do. Oh wait. I'll just roll twice and take the better result since initiative advantage seems a little bugged. 13.
Okay, one
tracker
second.
has disappeared.
Okay, there it is. Go ahead and re-rolls on. Yeah, thank you.
I'm gonna reroll because I have to be at disadvantage on that. So.
Fair.
Oh damn! I wish I could keep that other one.
Where are you? 6. Why did it give me twice? No, it didn't. Okay. All right. So, top of the round, Kara. Zon has just jumped on top of Damokos in the bed.
Don, have you felt this way about me? Could have just said so.
Like you could have let us leave the room first. I don't understand what's happening, but I'm getting my rope, I guess.
All right, going into full kink party here. Kara
I-
brings out her rope.
I don't have anything else to I don't know what you want me to do. I don't have manacles.
And we don't kink shame in this house. So Kara brings out her rope.
He's just on top of Damocles.
He's on top of
I don't know
Damokos.
how I'm supposed to like get under there and like
If
tie
you'd like to
him.
hold your action to, if Zon gets up, you can try to tie up Damokos.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Cool.
gonna do.
Cool. Anything you want Noodle to do? He's just beeping excitedly right now.
No, Noodle, sit. Don't do anything, Noodle.
He's kind of like doing that dog thing where he's bouncing
no.
around just beeping.
Not yet. Not yet,
You
Noodle.
guys can feel the room kind of shake a little bit.
Oh, Noodle. No.
All right. Zon, you are on top of Damokos.
Are you open before me?
Oh, was that you? Oh, shoot, you're right. I don't know why it hopped you down there. Yovin. Zon is on
Alright.
top of Damakos. Kara has brought out rope. And Noodle is beeping excitedly and jumping in a little circle.
You had to pick the time I'm an arm down to try and grab things.
It works.
All right. I'm going to walk over and kind of it's hard to think of how to do it with one arm. But I'm going to try and just like put a knee on like his like Damakos's like the right shoulder and then put my good hand on his like left, kind of just pinning him down that way.
Cool. Make an additional grapple check, and just to get him in the full pin state. And Damakos, your roll to not be grappled is at disadvantage.
I mean,
Is
it
it
already
athletics?
It is,
So-
it is athletics, yeah.
Okay. I had to make sure if it was athletics or an attack. That's not great. You could break out of it.
All right, so make another check.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, it rolled only once for some reason. There we go.
All right. Unfortunately, the lowest you rolled was an 11.
Yep.
So, you are fully pinned.
Cool.
Cool. Is that the end of your turn, Jovan?
Yep.
Cool. Zon, now it's your turn.
Alright, well, while Joven's basically got him pinned, I am attempting to find the orb and putting it in the bag of holding.
Sure, make an investigation check.
Sure.
And I want Damakos, do you mind rolling a sleight of hand check against that to see if how difficult it is for him to find it?
Obviously, still at disadvantage. We'll see if Roll20 decides to do it at disadvantage. Awesome.
Yeah, so you pretty much find it almost immediately. It's in his bag, and the bag isn't even like fully closed.
Okay. I'm just scooping it up and throwing it in the bag holding as quickly as I possibly can.
I need you to make a Constitution save.
Okay. I assumed this was gonna happen. Fuck.
So, you take. Oh, here it is. You take 11 cold damage as you've now picked up the coldest thing you've ever held.
I don't care. It's just going right in the fucking bag.
Cool. You slip it into the bag of holding.
Now I'm getting off.
Damakos, you don't feel the strongest urge to fight anymore.
Okay, I believe you can get off of him now. Hopefully.
Damakos, it is your turn.
Am I aware of what happened?
You could easily assume that. I'm just kidding. Yeah, you could easily assume that Zon took the orb. You didn't hide it. You didn't really hide it, not expecting, the group to jump on you when you woke up from your terror nap. So you didn't really hide it very well, and Zon was really only after one thing, so you can easily assume.
Okay, but like, am I aware of like everything that was said? That I said, not said?
Yeah, no, you're aware. You heard the voice saying it.
Okay. Well, there, are you happy now?
I don't know if I am talking to the right person now.
Well, I mean, you clearly wanted the orb.
And whatever decided to control your voice really wanted you to keep it.
It'll just be interesting if there's something that I can do with the orb that we need to have happen, and I can't do it, and it's in a time of need.
And how am I to know if that's actually you or something else? How am I to know if that thing actually wants you to do something that you don't want to do yourself?
So right at this moment, you guys hear a light knocking on your door, and Noodle is still bouncing and beeping very excitedly.
If you could, please control the child.
I mean, you kind of dogpiled on Domicos. He got excited. He thought we were.
Oh, I know. But you're the only one that should be handling that.
Oh, are we out of initiative?
Yeah, we're now out of initiative.
Okay.
Everyone seems
Noodle.
to have calmed down and not ready to fight.
Put the rope away. Hey, dude.
Make an animal handling check.
Domikos is going to use his Awaken Mind feature to tell Noodle that Zahn wants to play.
No.
I need you to make a persuasion check, and you have to beat her animal handling.
Yay. It's a disadvantage, so we should be fine.
We should be fine. Rolls 2 nat 20s. Okay.
Like I said, we should be fine.
So, really, so you guys all see that for a moment, Noodle gets in that kind of stance where dogs get like rear end up, front end back. His wings are spread out, and he's looking right at Zahn, and then he slumps down into just laying down. Wings fold up.
Good boy. Pat him on the head. Good boy. And then go see who's at the door, I guess.
Sure. So right as you're getting to the door, you hear another knock, and then Noodle goes beep.
Beep.
And he just beeps again.
Beep. Okay. Open the door a crack.
So you see a very thin, nervous-looking man, and he's very well dressed. He seems to have a journal with him, and he goes, "Hi, are you one of the people that went down below yesterday, or this earlier? I hate this time of day."
Can I ask who's asking?
Yeah, so I run a sort of news, just kind of updating the castle and some surrounding towns about just goings on, and we've heard that you guys went down below. You've got some sort of list or something like that.
I turn around and look at the rest of the party, part of which is still pinned to the bed.
Can we hear any of that, or are they talking quietly enough that we can't even hear what they're saying?
He seems to be talking quietly. I don't know how loud Kara is being, but if you want to hear exactly what he's saying, because Noodle's still kind of shuffling a little bit, go ahead and throw perception checks.
Sure. Nope.
Oh.
Can I relay it via message?
I mean, yeah, but doing that requires you to. Doesn't that require you to hold a little and kind of?
I opened mending. Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, you can also just turn around and say it.
Oh no, sending. I need a little. Oh no, this is. Never mind. Yeah, I'm just gonna tell them. We've got an investigative guest.
So, Carl, when you
Step
turn to
forward.
when you turn to kind of catch them up, you feel a little bit of like pressure, and the thin little man has like kind of slipped under your arm and is now in the room, and he's all, oh, what is this? And he's just rapidly like scrawling in his notebook.
Pulling the rope back out.
So, what did you guys see down there below?
Well, come take a seat with me. I'll fill you in.
Sure. He looks around and drags up. He like kind of his gaze goes over the dragon. He kind of looks at Noodle for a second, makes a note, and then drags a chair and sits next to Zon.
So, who exactly do you work for? Is there some sort of press here in the Fallen Keep?
It's less of an organized press thing, more me kind of writing this down and using magic to copy it out and just kind of like spreading the news out. I like to keep everyone informed of what's going on, and nothing's happened for a very long time. And you guys going down below is kind of a huge thing. I'm Joseph Jenkins Jr., which you can call me JJJ.
Right. Sure. Popular here? Sort of media here? Or are you just, feeling it out, trying to get your foot in the door sort of situation?
Kind of a mix of both. I haven't really been thrown out or told to stop, so I'm going to assume it's, if not popular, not hated. Best way to save my ego that way, I think.
While they're talking, Tamakos is just going to look up at Joven like, can I sit up? Like,
Oh, yeah. Go ahead. I'm going to get off and offer him a hand up.
Thank you.
Well, then, I guess I will fill you in. So, we are from, or most of us, one of us being from the other country that I'm blanking on the name of right now. Kel. The three of us, as I point to the three of us, are from Moroth, and we all traveled down, up here in search of a lost companion. We had found that they were here, and we are trying to gain favor to join into the court here so that we can sort of find them and hope that they are in good health, which we have heard they most likely are. We just wish to confirm for ourselves.
Right. And can I have each of your names?
Well, I am Zon Mazvarek of the Mazvarek estate down in Moroth. It is up to my companions if they wish to give you their names. Some of them are a bit more secretive.
Joven of Dogwood.
Tamakos Grey Castle of the Grey Castle Estate, Moroth.
You can just call me Kara.
Okay, excellent. Perfect. And you said you're searching for a lost companion?
We are, as far as we know, aware that she is here. We just wish to have favor here enough so that we can actually speak to her. We are sort of abiding by this city's rules and sort of gaining favor to sort of be in good standing with the Lord here. And that was why we have the list that you are aware of.
Right.
One of such being was to deliver a message down south a bit which we already completed. And yesterday, like you said, we went down into the undersea. And there were many things down there.
Like,
Well, I'm not sure how well read you are about the fish folk who are down there. We sort of wandered into a battle between some of them. Didn't take part, but we witnessed it. From there, since we were on our way to find Bloodwort, we had to swim deep under the sea for a fair bit, and we witnessed what many probably have called a devourer, a massive shark creature. And I'll let you know that we did defeat it, or at least for a time, though it appears to have more or less only gone unconscious and began to regenerate.
so you're telling me this massive shark that lives underneath our castle is coming back to life?
It sounds very crazy, but it is. I
No,
can
love
assure
it. This
you.
is perfect. Get so many more houses with this.
I can assure you it is 100% true. I would not lie to you.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. All right. And where are you planning on heading next?
Our final task is to get some thunderweave from the ruins to the north.
Ruins. Any specific ones? What are you looking for?
Thunderweave. Not a specific ruin as far as we know. There's just one to the north that is known to have Thunderweave as far as we've been told. And that is where we're headed.
Perfect. All right. Well, all right. He kind of looks around. And I think I've got the party. I think I've got everyone's dynamics here. Perfect. All right. Well, thank you so much. If I have any further questions, I'll just find one of you guys. And as quickly as he came in, he leaves.
Yep. All right. Goodbye.
You know that was probably a bad idea.
Oh, what's the harm?
Fair enough. I'm curious to see what comes of this.
Like I said, what could he possibly do? He's a small media guy. I mean, worst he says is that we killed the Devourer, or whatever, but I don't think anyone would be upset about that.
What was that he said about selling things?
I didn't catch that, I'm not sure. He could be selling his papers or whatever.
This is probably something involving whatever inner politics are of this place.
Of course. Which was much of why I only said we were delivering a message to the south, and not a assassination attempt, you know. But either way, what's done is done. We should rest and go about our business tomorrow.
That sounds good. I could use a rest. Definitely don't feel like tackling another ruin in my current state. And Jovin's going to pick up his cup and down the rest of the wine. Start making his way over to his room.
Okay. All right. So Jovan leaves. Kara
Too much
leaves.
tension in this goddamn. Come on, Noodle. Let's go.
Noodle kind of just bounces out of the room after Kara.
I'm
And
finishing
yet still
whatever.
the tension remains.
I'm finishing whatever sip of wine that I have. Whatever it was, you didn't need it.
Given the fact that you know the mission I have to undertake in Moroth, I think you know that is the
And
opposite.
I've already given you all the assistance in that endeavor, because I agree with it wholeheartedly. I can take the orb's place. I haven't led you to ruin so far, and I'm not going to possess your body and make you do whatever it feels is necessary. The thing was parasitic. Whatever it wanted was not in your best interest, no matter how much it made you believe it was. But I am in your best interest. And I'm not going to leech off of you, much more the opposite. I hope that you'll follow me into the darkness for whatever it's worth. Because I have my own goals I'd love to see through to the end as well.
Venturing into darkness, it is good to have light, but it is also good to have the shadows at your side. You only know thoroughly about one of my shadows.
Quite the puzzle you're throwing at me. Your vagueness and secrecy knows no bounds. Though I do know enough that you're not as assertive as whatever this creature is.
The ways of Moroth have a way of staying with you when you're speaking. I'll give you a hint. It's something that I don't have anymore on my arm, and I'm going to leave.
This is your room.
I
Domicos
don't.
proudly marches out of his room.
I just want to get away from Zahn. So
He's gonna go
Heading
sleep
nowhere.
outside in the forest.
Domicos has dropped the mic and left the building.
Alright.
All right, and Zahn, you are left alone in this room, which definitely looks like there is a mini fight that broke out in it.
I will clean it up the best I can and leave.
Cool. So Zahn also leaves. So I assume each of you go find a place to sleep. Most of you in your rooms, one of you probably somewhere in the castle. And when you wake up in the morning, outside each of y'all's room, and
I mean, I do return to my room. But
cool. So each of you find outside of your room a long sheet of paper with a variety of stories, but one that catches y'all's eye is this one. And just send it in Discord. But it reads, 3 nobles and their servant search for lost lover. The group, which consists of Zahn Mazvarak, Jovan of Dogwood, Domicos Castle, Kara, took a break from the long hunt for Zahn's lost love to go on a small fishing trip down below. They started with the ritual slaughtering of a small town of fish people, then took a quick swim to slay the god of the down below, a massive whale called the Devourer. Talk about a hard way to get fried fish. Their next stop is to picnic in the northern ruins, collecting thunderweed to poison another village. Thank the Lord for our brave protectors and protecting us from invasions. The group seems to be led by Zon, a half-orc warrior bound in metal forged from the ancient gods of myth. His close friend Donikos, a tiefling man who is wrestling with his lover, Jovan of Dogwood, a proud giant who seems to carry the strength of the forest in his arms. They're accompanied by the powerful ranger Kara and her soul-bounded dragon, whose name has been long lost to history. Could they be our heroes to free us from fear? I believe so. And then it seems to go into vaguely anti-government ramblings.
All right then.
Is there coffee in this world?
I am physically repulsed.
I literally pick up the piece of paper after reading it and ignite it.
Paper turns to ash in your hands. Jovan gets himself a cup of coffee.
Do we have like a common area where we eat, or just
Yeah, I mean the rooms are all like linked together. There is a large common area.
I'm in the common
there's
area with a cup of coffee, just reading casually. Just
He's all right. Are you reading the paper or are you reading
the paper and that section?
Cool.
I'm just waiting for everybody to come back down.
Sure. So
I'm waiting for Zon to show up.
Eventually, everyone does meet up in the common room. You guys do see Jovan in there. Zon is the second one in there. So if there's an interaction you were waiting for, Jovan.
Ah, hello, fine leader Zon Masveric.
Yeah. I mean, most of the vampires here are well read. I would assume they would realize that most of this is not real, but
to be
whatever.
honest, I feel like a lot of them might not appreciate the anti-government lean of some of this stuff.
Neither do I, but we should continue with our tasks and not be swayed by rumors.
Next up in the room is, I'm going to say, Domikos.
I'm just
He
going to
just has a
smash
handful of ash, and he's going to like take the ash and put it in an ashtray or something.
Sure.
I just look at him and give a fucking grin. I go back to read this.
I told Zon all he had to do was tell me.
Indeed. You know, metal forged from the ancient gods of myth. To be honest, this is better than what I thought it was, which was going to be that we were signing up for a hit list on ourselves.
I actually think this is probably better than anything, because it sounds so absurd that most people are going to just pass it off as that. I would hope.
Next up is Kara. Kara, you notice that one Noodle was up earlier than you, and Noodle seems to almost be smug.
Yeah. Come on, you little shit. Let's get some breakfast.
He follows with a little bit more bounce in his step.
Sniff out terrible people?
So, Kara and a very smug-looking Noodle enter in the room.
I'm waving the paper around.
Hello, Brave Ranger.
This is awful. I've
Zon
never.
is right.
Well,
You weren't you're not a wizard or a sorcerer, apparently.
held a bow in my goddamn life. What the fuck? How do you even know what a dragon is?
I don't think he does either.
Yeah, I was just saying how most of the vampires here, I assume, are well read. Most of them are most likely not going to think this is real by how absurd it is, but it's nothing we should be concerning ourselves with.
Depends on how long they've been alive. They might be looking for something to spice up their life, like crazy stories. Also, Zon, I didn't know you were in love with Jethra.
I didn't either, apparently. Either way, like I said, I've been dealing with this for the last 20-odd years of media
We'll have to keep
making
this from...
unfounded rumors about things that you care about. Doesn't matter. Don't pay any attention to it, and normally you'll be fine.
We'll have to keep this from reaching back to Moroth. They'll wreak havoc on the Great Castle plans. Shitting grin on his face as he says it.
Not really.
Either way, unless we have anything pertinent to take care of right now, I believe we should leave as soon as possible so that we can make it to the ruins sometime soon and get back before nightfall ends so that we can speak to whoever we need to speak to.
That's why I don't give anyone my whole name.
They didn't even get mine right, so I'm not too
Didn't get
concerned about
anybody's
that.
right.
Neither am I.
At least Dogwood was in there.
There's like a fireplace around here somewhere.
Hey, you guys are sitting near an unlit fireplace. There's also a mound of ash inside of a small, like, stone box near Damikos.
I'm gonna start the fireplace and toss my copy in.
All right.
I needed a good laugh. So, the ruins and Thunderweave.
Yes. Like I said, we should leave as soon as possible unless anyone has anything that they need to get done. Alright, then let us continue moving on.
Cool. So as you guys are moving through the castle, I would like 2 people to make perception checks, please.
I'll make one.
My perception is bad.
I think all of our perceptions are bad.
I mean,
but
mine's
I'll
a plus
do it.
1.
All right. So, you guys are walking. Yovan, you're kind of like looking around, and there's a lot of vampires. Since you guys did just finish a long rest, there are a lot of vampires out and about. Some of them do seem to be looking at you guys and whispering. And Kara, you can make out them some of them are referring to the article that was written about you guys.
Sensible people, he said. Don't worry about it, he said. They're fucking whispering about us, Zarn.
This comes very often after stories like these break. Just pay no mind to them. It will literally die off, and no one will remember it come a week from now.
This gets to the Lord and affects our chances.
You're sure?
I'm gonna be so mad.
I'm 100% sure. I've been dealing with this for months. Years, even.
These are immortal beings.
All the more reason that they will grow bored of it when nothing comes of it.
Get the fuck out of here. I don't want to be stared at anymore.
Cool. So, you guys do leave the castle gates, and you see a JJJ standing a few, like, right outside the main gate into into the castle, and he seems to be waiting.
I'm just walking past without even looking in his direction.
Oh, yes. I was wondering if I could come with you guys, just to, chart out what's going on.
Looking
Are
for
you
more
going to
story
be as flowery as in fighting as you are with your writing?
I'm not much of a fighter. I'm more of a writer, but I can see what I can do to help. I'm not too bad with poultices and stuff.
I mean, you don't have to fight if you don't want to. I'm just saying I can't guarantee your safety while you're following us around.
Oh, don't worry about me. I got a neat little trick that'll help me. I just, thought it'd be rude to kind of tag along without at least asking first. And he does seem to be talking directly to Zahn, not really at the group, more like directly to Zahn.
In all honesty, I would prefer you not to, as you've made some of my companions uncomfortable with your writing.
Oh, have I gotten anything wrong? I thought I picked up the dynamic of the group pretty well.
You did?
I'm gonna mutter under my breath in Elvish. With any luck, he'll end up like Tarek, but...
Aw, Tarek. I had so much planned for you.
Also very sad
That's
about
fun.
Tarek, but like...
I mean,
That is.
trying to figure out if I want to say this out loud or into like a person's mind.
That was in character. I just laughed to say it. That is funny.
I'm
All right,
just
how about this?
continuing to walk along this path.
He's walking with you, like keeping same pace. How about this? I won't make anyone uncomfortable. Boom.
Well, you can say that all you want. It's more your writing that I'm worried about, since you seem to infer things that aren't there.
You just said I got the dynamic correct.
I said you got it mostly wrong.
Oh, I thought you. When I said I thought the dynamic was, I got it correct. I thought you said I did. Okay, I misheard. That's fine. Don't even worry about me. I'll be super quiet. And then he fades from view.
What?
Oh, fun.
Impressive.
So we don't really have a choice as to whether or not he's going to follow us, because how the fuck would we know?
Well, I mean,
I
if
figured.
I can let you guys know where I am.
Oh God, he's
That's what
still
I'm saying
here.
stuff.
I figured he was. That
Yeah,
is a
it's
very
just-
impressive trick.
Yeah, it's just invisibility.
Does he look
Is
human?
Noodle reacting to his invisibility?
Throw in insight check. He is invisible right now, but before he looks more like he's a half elf, to be sure. So, Noodle seems to be like, it's almost like Noodle's pretending to not know where he is, but the way that Noodle's eyes keep kind of flicking over to his spot, it seems that Noodle knows where he is.
So like a cat.
Good to know. Good to know.
Noodle senses ghosts.
Well, it's going to be that way. Watch out for yourself and try to keep safe best you can.
Gotcha. Yeah, absolutely. Won't even notice I'm there.
I'll look down at Noodle. Is this why you were so smug this morning? Did you know this was going to happen?
Kara speaks to her pet in a language only they share.
Oh Lord. I'm walking away with my boy.
Let's
I'm not
head
going to
out
deal with
to
this
the-
anymore.
Well, come on, guys. Let's head out to that picnic. Just shitting grin at Zahn as we're heading out.
I'm not saying
how's your-
anything.
Gavin, how's your arm doing?
Better. It's like I never got almost bitten off.
Good. fucking go, I guess.
Glad I didn't lose my bracers. That would have been truly bad.
But I'm going to put a pin in that and remember to ask him that later when there is not a nosy journalist around.
A nosy journalist who's like TMZ and can go invisible.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, you guys do make your way up. It's going to take a few hours to get up there, so it's going to be around midnight when you arrive.
All right.
So, if there's nothing you guys want to do on the trip, you do arrive. Did you want to do something?
Since it's dark, do we want light or do we want to give the two of us that can't see dark vision? Because I still have dark vision.
Dark vision would most likely be better. I'd rather not.
Wait. How long were we down there? Never mind. We slept. I'm gonna give Yovan and I dark vision.
Cool.
Thank you.
I'd rather not let everyone in the vicinity know that we are coming, especially if there are creatures in this room that we need to avoid.
As you guys are getting closer, you are seeing the path seems to be tread less. Like there's a lot more grass and other plants growing on top of where the path is. So it doesn't look like people really travel this way very much. But you guys do eventually find your way over to what looks to be like a watchtower, missing the top half with just stones kind of scattered around. It does look like the watchtower goes about 2 floors, one up, one down.
Look like James's tower?
Kind of, but it doesn't look like it was as like James's tower is made out of the black stone. This looks more like it was either. It looks more like an imitation of James's tower.
What is the weather like right now?
It's nice and dark. The moon is it's partially cloudy, so the moon's a little bit covered up. But you can still see the stars, and you can see a few planets in the sky and all that.
Doesn't look like there would be rain.
No.
And pretty much I'm looking if it's like conditions that would have like lightning.
Make a nature check if you're checking the area.
Jesus, what the hell? All right.
So you're checking around, checking the grass, like checking the trees, even like testing the dirt a little bit. It hasn't rained here in a while.
This place is practically a drought. Be sure these plants are even going to be there?
Well, they are magical in a way.
Book did say they grow out of lightning strike, so.
Yes.
Well, all I'm saying is I ain't seen any evidence of rain for a while.
Do we want to go in or do we want to go further up?
Well, is this the actual rune that we were talking about, or is there more to this than?
You can assume, like you've seen other like small things, but this like small mounds of dirt, some kind of like rotted wooden houses. This seems to be like the most reasonable choice for the ruins to be.
Okay. Can I see JJJ right now?
Make a perception check with disadvantage.
Yeah.
So you're kind of looking around. You don't see JJJ, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's not right next to you.
Kara, would you like to check the sword quickly?
Sure. the box out of my backpack. Open it up.
Okay.
See how close we are.
So it does seem to be tugging a little bit more to the north, but it isn't really. It's tugging a little bit more than it was when you checked at the castle, but it's not pulling as much as you think it would if you were near one of the pieces of the sword.
I think we've got a ways to go. I don't think it's here.
Well, another time then, which is actually probably better off. Let us explore these ruins then, I guess.
Put it back in the box, make sure it's locked, and then put that box in the backpack. I don't wear my backpack on my front, actually.
Sure.
We have an invisible journalist.
All right. So, you guys are investigating the tower?
Yep.
Cool. Go ahead. Everyone who's investigating the tower, give me an investigation check.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So everyone, everyone except for Kara, you guys are like checking in all the corners. You're checking old chests. You're not really finding much. You spend most of your time upstairs because you're noticing a lot of grass upstairs. So you're assuming this might have some, but you're not really finding any. Kara, you go to what seems to be a more secluded corner of the tower, and you're noticing that there seems to be almost vines that are similar to the vines that Thunderweave grow on. You push an old bookshelf out of the way, and there's a trap door in the floor.
I'm not going down that by myself.
I assume I hear her pushing a bookshelf out of the way.
You guys.
I have a strength of 10. It's going to take some effort.
Well, the bookshelf itself seems more rotted than normal bookshelf, so it is pretty light, and in fact breaks when it does hit the floor, which everyone hears from upstairs.
Alright, well, you have much better eyes than I. Till we head down there. And I will lead.
Cool. So, Zon, you go to lift the trap door, and it creaks open. It's very obvious that there is the iron hinges of this door just weren't taken care of, and the rust is flaking off of it. You do manage to pull it up slow enough that the hinges themselves don't break, but it does seem to be stuck in the upward position. Below you, it seems to be a rope ladder that leads down, and the sides of the stone wall are lit up with the faint blue glowing lines.
Alright, I guess we're heading down here.
Is there anything we can tie a new piece of rope to? I don't trust a ladder that's been down there that long.
Yeah, you guys can. There's like a few chests that are still heavy with some iron handles that you guys can tie to, especially if you fill it up with a bunch of junk.
Does anyone have like titans? I don't.
I do not. I will assist, however, and just open up these chests and just start dumping the sort of random ruin rock that I most likely assume is all over the place.
Because I can get out fine, but like if the rest of you get trapped down there.
So it's not that far, so you can take. It's just like a 20-foot rope ladder climb down. So you guys can take like a piece of rope and make it a knotted, like tie knots in it to make it easier to climb up.
Sure.
And just fill a chest up and drop it down and bring it down as you climb down.
Sure.
Do that. Second way
Cool.
out.
So, who's going down first?
Me.
Okay, cool. I need you to make a dexterity saving throw. as you're climbing down. So it's a good thing you have that rope, because like pretty much as soon as you actually fully get on the rope ladder, the full weight of you, your weapon, and your plate armor kind of tears out the old metal pythons that were in the wall. You do grab onto the rope and kind of bump up against the side of the wall, but it's going to be a short climb for everyone else to get down.
All right. Good eye, Kara. I'm going to climb the rest of the way down.
Cool. So everybody joins you down on this path, and it seems like this, the path seems to lead in a sort of winding direction down. And as you guys are going down, sorry, go ahead.
Is JJJ still following us?
Make a perception check with disadvantage.
Oh god. Oh god.
You cannot tell. You have no idea.
Damn.
Like, just look at Noodle.
I never relayed the message that Noodle knows where he is.
Yeah, Dominic was the
Oh
only one who knows
no. Well, I'm gonna make sure Noodle's by me. Just generally.
Fair enough. So, Noodle doesn't really seem bothered by any of this. He kind of
Noodle don't
glided. He glided down from the. I don't know why that sounds weird to me. He glided down from the ledge to the ground on the ground.
Are we
On the
still
ground.
following like vines from the Thunderweave plants that are just empty and been picked clean?
So you do see that there are vines like kind of on the ground, and make a quick nature check for me.
Sure.
This is not differentiating, so you don't get the advantage on it.
So
it does look like on the vines seem to be almost dying on a close inspection. It's presumably from the lack of lightning actually hitting them from down here. But as you guys are walking down, the vines seem to be getting stronger. And then you hear actually, Joven, as you guys are walking down this path, you're starting to hear this faint, almost crackling noise and popping sound.
I'm going to try to listen in a bit closer, see if I can tell it's growing louder or with more intensity as we're approaching.
Sure, go ahead and make a perception check. Excellent. Yeah, so as you guys are walking down, it is growing louder, and you're starting to notice that some of the blue lights are starting to turn purple. And it's a very gradual shift to purple, but they're starting to get purple as you're going further and further down. Then after a few minutes of walking, you guys do walk out into this area, which seems to be a set of stone islands with various crystals and sort of big leafy plants growing on them. And in between the islands is a big pool of purple water, and it seems to be popping occasionally. Like some of it will rise up and just kind of.
Do any of you else hear what I'm hearing?
Well, I mean, you guys are all in the room, so you're all hearing the crackling and the popping. Yeah. And the crackling seems to be coming from further down a little bit. On each of these islands, there seems to be a collection of metal statues, just about 5 foot tall metal orbs that have been sort of stacked on top of each other in the middle of each of these islands. And there's 3 on each island.
So not humanoid shaped statues.
No.
Or okay. Okay.
Sorry. Do they look similar to like a lightning rod?
They make an insight check for me.
Sure.
So with this, they do kind of look like they're built up to be lightning rods. they're definitely set to attract lightning. And when you go, what kind of lightning? You look up and you see a massive ball of curled lightning that seems to be wrapping around itself. Every so often, it strikes down and will hit one of the metal statues.
All right, well, be careful of that. Just taking a quick look around, are there any lightning weave plants? Obviously around those pillars.
So it's since you are you'd have to get closer in order to tell for sure.
Okay.
And it looks to be about a 10-foot jump between each platform.
Okay. So it isn't accurate to the ruler on here.
That should be about 10 feet. 1 second.
It's way more than 10 feet. 15.
Oh, well, no,
30.
from the edge of like this, it's 10 feet.
Okay. Well, the closest one is about 10 feet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
This is easy. Hand me a rope. If you have it.
I do not.
My rope is our escape ladder, so I don't have any more either.
I see. That does make this a little trickier.
I have a rope.
This short distance here as well is kind of an easy jump for at least I would assume the two of us, but
Domikos, as you're searching through your pack for a rope, and go ahead and make a quick investigation check for me.
Nice.
Cool. Yeah, you find your full amount of rope inside your pack.
There's the rope for you, Joven.
Thank you. I think at least I can make pretty much any of these jumps. Which island would you guys like to check first?
just go to the closest one for now. Make it easier for everyone.
Okay. I'm going to just back up so I have 10 feet worth to start.
Yeah.
And then I'm just going to make that running long jump, which according to the rules means that I can jump 20 feet.
Cool. You easily just sail across. Where are you landing? Because you can jump from any spot on right here to right here.
Here, since Zahn was like, let's go to the closest one first.
Cool. I need you to make a acrobatics check. Or no,
Okay.
I'm sorry, dexterity saving throw as you land. Cool. So you land and kind of stumble forward a little bit, but you are across to the other side.
Yep. And I was holding that rope, so now we have a bit of rope to assist anyone who's less strong or dexterous to be able to come over on this side.
Cool. So whoever uses the rope will get advantage on their athletics check to jump. If you can't do the running long jump.
All right. Which one of you wants to go next? I will stay on this side and make sure that rope stays secure.
And I'm doing the same on this side. In fact, I'm just going to move like here while holding that rope.
Cool. So how long is the rope that you gave him, Domikos?
50 feet.
Okay, cool. So yeah, that's more than enough. We're just going to go ahead and tie it from here to here. Yeah, I'm bad at straight lines.
It didn't even show up for us.
Yeah.
Probably did it on our wrong layer.
I did do it on the wrong layer. Okay, so this is the rope. That's slightly better. So, which one of you guys is crossing first?
I'll go.
Cool. So they're kind of making what seems to be a tightrope. So I'm going to have you make an athletic or an acrobatics check to cross the rope.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
So you get about halfway, and you do fall into the water, which, as you hit it, it doesn't really feel like water as you start to slowly sink into it.
Not again.
First reaction is to just immediately let go of the rope and try to reach down.
How high are these things?
They're not very high. They're about 10 feet above the water.
Just like step on these crystals that are crawling up and try to reach down and grab her out of the water.
So I'm going to need you to make a athletics check to see if you can find a firm spot to step on those crystals. Yeah, you managed to find right at the base. Some of the smaller crystals kind of snap off under your feet, but right at the base you can reach down and pull her out of the ooze.
Not water.
I sort of figured, but yeah.
Yeah, it comes free with a almost sickening pop.
Ugh.
God, I wish I could pop my lips. Almost a sickening pop. And there is still like purple slime that is stuck to her about waist down. Noodle just flies across.
Yeah, I could do that too, but I didn't want to waste a spell slot. Fucking get the rest of this goddamn slime off of me.
I would recommend not letting go of the rope, but obviously that is obvious. I could tie it around you and have you sort of pulley across.
I'm gonna look at Zahn, cast chromatic orb into the ground, and use Tempestuous magic just to fly across.
Easily,
or you can do that.
I need you to make a dexterity saving throw as you step across. Cool. You're good. You kind of skitter a bit on some of the loose stones and crystals that are on the ground, but you land pretty firmly.
Well, I guess it's my turn now.
Yep.
So I will... I suppose I will jump across, utilizing the rope.
Cool. All right, make an athletics check with advantage.
Nice.
You jump out, but Jovan kind of mistimes his tug. So he tugs you right before you jump, and you end up splashing into the ooze.
One more time.
Yeah, you easily help him up. You haven't really moved, unless you move from your position, you easily help him back up.
Sure.
All right. I go for it again.
Cool. You're still tied to this rope, so go ahead and make that athletics check with advantage. Yeah, you do manage to make it across the gap.
Cool.
And
Looks
as
like-
you land, because you're being pulled, I need you to make a dexterity saving throw. You guys are fine.
As soon as I land, after I land, I'm going to prestidigitation to try and
Cool.
clean the slime off.
So when you do that, the slime seems to get a little bit thicker.
Interesting.
And nothing ominous about that. So Zon,
I'm just gonna make my run, which I can easily make with my athletics.
cool. So you just do essentially the same thing that Joven did, and when you land, I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Yes.
So when you land, you skitter a little bit on the rocks, and you go step, step, and then the final step to kind of firm yourself, you step onto a stone, and the stone starts to sink down, and you hear a clicking noise. And that's when boom, the large burst of lightning strikes down at each of these rods, and the lightning rod falls apart, and then lightning starts to kind of like electricity starts to kind of spit out of these orbs and almost pushes them up as if they were standing on legs. And we are going to go ahead and roll for initiative.
Okay.
Jesus. Okay. And that is where we're going to end tonight's session. Thank you guys so much for joining us on another venture of FetchQuest. We hope to see you next week. Have a wonderful day. Remember, subscribe to our Twitter, subscribe to our YouTube, like, follow, retweet, check us out here. Anybody else got anything? All right. You guys have a wonderful night. Peace.
Mm-hmm.